On this episode, we review our recent stay at Universal Orlando's Surfside Inn & Suites, Halloween Horror Nights 32, and Vivo Italian Kitchen at Citywalk. Today is September 22nd, 2023, and this is episode 602 of the Main Street Magic Podcast.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts. Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Main Street Magic. I'm your host, Jeremy Stein, and I'm joined by my lovely wife, Rhonda.
Hey, guys.
Make sure you check us out on the web at mainstmagic.com, as well as follow on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at mainstmagic. If you've not done so already, head out to Facebook and search for the Main Street Magic community and ask to join. Then if you hit that subscribe button, you get these brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. If you were planning that trip to Disneyland or Walt Disney World, you did not get the advanced dining reservations you so truly desired. Don't worry, because Mouse Dining removes the frustration of booking Disney dining reservations, alerting you when they spot availability for your desired restaurant, date, meal, and time. Visit msmfriends.com to use this free service. And while you're out there, you're on the internet, I would hit up mainstmagictravel.com. All new discounts have been released for early 2024, and there are literally rates
cheap
that we have not seen since pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
Like
like
92 a night at All Stars.
All Stars, $92.
Coronado in the mid 150s. If you want to find out a trip here in early 2024 and what those prices could look like for you, I've already contacted my travel agents over at Main Street Magic Travel to start finding some things. So get a free quote, mainstmagictravel.com. So we are kind of finishing off our trip review from my birthday weekend. We started last episode with Wilderness Lodge and the Old Faithful Inn Club.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're going to talk about Universal. We're going to talk a little bit about Surfside Inn & Suites, Halloween Horror Nights, and then a dinner at Vivo Italian Kitchen, which we returned to.
Yes.
Let's start off with Surfside. We've covered Surfside, the Endless Summer Resort. There's Dockside.
Mm-hmm. There's
There's Surfside on either side. We've covered these a lot in the past. Just, I guess, give your overall impression just to kind of like rehash our thoughts on the Endless Summer Resorts in general. How do you feel about them?
They're a great place to stay for a value at Universal, in my opinion. We do really like Surfside better than Dockside. I don't know really why, because they're pretty much the same, other than I like the decor and the surfing style stuff at Surfside. So honestly, that's probably the only thing I can say.
Yeah, they're pretty similar. And your pricing is usually pretty on point. Surfside was a little bit actually cheaper for this weekend. We love the 2-bedroom there. There's 3 queen beds total.
Mm-hmm.
It was wonderful. We had several rooms there with friends that came down. Other families were able to actually share 2-bedroom rooms so that, you know, they could kind of have a combined family and not have to get their own separate rooms. I love it here. I really do. And at the price, we were all in each night for the 2-bedroom. It was a very, very busy weekend, sold out. AP rate was around $260, $270 a night,
Mm-hmm.
which is actually pretty high. We've seen these in the 100s easy, low 200s, but still for what you're getting, you have your own little almost like kitchen. There's a microwave. There's an extra sink there.
Yeah.
There's like a picnic table that seats 4 to 6 people.
Mm-hmm.
Again, your 3 queen beds. It's only 1 bath, but
That's the only downfall.
that's the only downfall. You can make it work.
But you can. We did.
Yeah. Starbucks in the lobby, like all
Yes.
Universal resorts.
I love that every Universal resort has a Starbucks
Yeah.
in the lobby.
So what we're going to focus on a little bit here is the actual pool, the sandbar, so we can cover a little bit about drinks, and then we're going to talk about the cafe there, Beach Break Cafe, because we did eat a lot of food there this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start with the sandbar, and they've got a lot of awesome specialty cocktails. You can find these over at Dockside as well. You can get a $15 souvenir cup.
Mhm.
That's going to be good for the rest of your trip, maybe your lifetime, for $12 refills.
Yep.
And a couple drinks that we tried were the Endless Summer Lemonade. Now, this is Tito's handmade vodka with thyme infusion, essence finished with effervescent fever tree sparkling lemon tonic.
Mm-hmm.
You tried mine, didn't
I
you?
think so. Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a nice, refreshing
I just
poolside
heard
drink.
to say refreshing poolside. Mm-hmm.
And the pool here is shaped like a giant surfboard.
Mm-hmm.
There's no frills to it.
No, not at all.
None.
There is a walk. What do you say? Zero entry.
Yeah.
Walk in. So when you have little kids and there's little fountains spouting out. So
Yeah.
that's the only frills.
Yeah, and plenty of seating though. We have the sandbar right there. You walk right inside to beach break to get food if you want. So it's still a great layout. We hung out there half of the day Saturday with everybody.
And with Universal, you are allowed to bring your drinks to the side of the pool and be in it. Whereas Disney, you can't. I've seen some resorts at Universal where they didn't care that the drinks were in the pool. This one happened to be where they did not.
Yeah, they were
want
on top
us,
of
and
it.
they were on top of us
Yeah.
about that. So,
But we're pretty much hanging out by the side.
Yeah.
You can have a beverage. Another one is the Disco H2O. So White Claw now makes a vodka. It is not flavored. It is not like, the canned beverages that you're thinking of. They make an actual vodka. So this is White Claw premium vodka infused with Skittles syrup, lime, and sparkling Fever Tree soda. And then it comes with a little test tube filled with Skittles.
yes, it does.
This is really good. It's sweet.
It's too
So you
sweet
kind of
for
just
me.
want one. And everybody was like, why aren't you dumping the Skittles in your drink? You're supposed to. They'll
Yeah,
melt
why
in there. And I'm
didn't
like, because then it's way too sweet. So I just ate the Skittles.
Yeah.
But this is a really good beverage. Then our bartender on Friday, Andy, was amazing. We had not met him before. He recommended the Flyer, which is Maker's Mark bourbon mixed with spicy mango, orange, sweet and sour for a refreshing finish. This was another great beverage. Like all their beverages here are really good. They're well done. Andy was absolutely amazing.
Yes.
And then as he was, I guess, closing out that afternoon,
Mm-hmm.
somebody else was coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And were you there?
No.
So I think, yeah, you might have been in, I forget what you were doing, but Rob and I were sitting there with Tina, and Rob and I were like, she looks so familiar.
She did.
Like we
I
think
remember.
we've maybe had her here before, but we
Mhm.
had not been here with them for like a year.
Yeah.
And then Tina comes up and she says to Tina, I remember you guys. Aren't you the one with some sort of weird animal named like Michael or something?
That's
And
funny.
she was correct. They have a prairie dog named Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
And so Tina showed the photos, but we remembered her. And Kendra was amazing. She worked all day Saturday. Finally, I'll talk about the Dawn Patrol daiquiris. They have different frozen daiquiri flavors: strawberry, raspberry, watermelon, banana, pina colada, peach, guava, mango, or vanilla. This was Saturday. I did the watermelon at first. And then Kendra recommended combining the banana and strawberry. And that was delicious as well.
Yeah.
And again, after your first $15 initial purchase of the souvenir cup, all of these are $12.
Yeah, that's not
And
bad.
it's probably a 12 ounce to 16 ounce glass.
Right.
So it's a pretty good deal. And each with the daiquiris, there was always a little bit left over that she poured into an extra cup. And then I just gave that to Tina.
Yes, you did.
All right, let's talk a little bit about some food, Rhonda. We'll just start so you can discuss some of the things that we had Sunday morning when we were leaving.
Yeah. So we started, and I got Jeremy and I actually did a Baja scramble for $11. This is chorizo, pepper, jack cheese, and a side of breakfast potatoes, actually in a burrito. This thing was huge.
Mm-hmm.
So she cut it in half and I ate it, and it was very, very good. And they make it right there in front of you, which is super nice. It wasn't like it was just sitting there. She actually asked, did we want the pepper jack? And we put some more stuff. And then she actually put some onions and peppers in it. And it was just really, really good. And it was really cool. And then somebody had a chicken and waffle sandwich.
Lacey did.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
Was it good?
Yeah, that's what Lacey got. It was the two
$12.50.
mini. It was the two mini chicken and waffle sandwiches, like biscuits, actually, is I think what she replaced it for. That had bacon.
Okay.
It was bacon, chicken, cheese, and it actually came on a biscuit. So I think she adjusted something,
Okay.
possibly. But yeah, she loved it. She brought the other one home and ate it once we got home.
Oh, awesome.
And as Rhonda mentioned, they're making this in front of you. The past couple of reviews of some of the Endless Summer and Universal resorts in their food courts was, a while ago they were making it fresh, and then there became a point where it seemed like everything was sitting out and it was not fresh. It was like, hey, I'd like, maybe a breakfast burrito, and it was already sitting in a plastic clamshell container and they were handing it to you.
Mm-hmm.
And they just weren't as fresh. It just wasn't as good.
Yeah.
And we really saw a downfall. Everything we had this entire weekend that we'll talk about was made to order.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah.
Even if it was assembled to order. But for example, we watched her cook these eggs in front of us. We watched her like she was making an omelet, then go around the corner to get a burrito and pile everything in it, wrap it after she steamed the big giant tortilla, like fresh breakfast potatoes. It was like really, it was good. The chorizo was flavorful. I thought this was outstanding.
Oh, yeah.
Saturday morning.
I sure say, what did you have Saturday morning by yourself?
Well, Saturday morning, and we're going to talk about Halloween Horror Nights, but I didn't get back till about 2 a.m. I was up early Saturday morning for whatever reason. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go downstairs. I'm hungry because I was hungry coming out of Horror Nights. But I woke up, I was like, I'm hungry. I'm just going to go down. And I got their breakfast pizza. So this is $10. And it is sausage, gravy, bacon, scrambled eggs, mozzarella cheese, and cheddar cheese. They are putting it together in front of you. They're putting it through a quick fired little pizza oven in front of you. It was fresh. It was absolutely delicious.
You ate the whole thing?
I ate
Is
the
it
whole
big?
thing. It's a little bit more of an oval, but it's probably the size of their regular pizzas. And we had pizzas on Friday. Rob went in and got a pepperoni pizza. And he got a cheese pizza and brought him out to the bar area.
And that was you ate that whole pizza on your own?
Yeah. It was so good. It was so good. It was a lot of food. But I loved this. So we'll talk about some of the lunch and dinner items we had. And as we go through this weekend, we're not going to do our normal sequential order, hour by hour, day by day. Yeah. We'll kind of just chunk everything together and talk about them individually. But it was Friday night, I believe, or it might have been Saturday. Anyway, the kids all enjoy and love the oven roasted turkey sandwich for $12. This is like Kaylin's absolute go-to. Yep. I think 3 of them were ordered at some point on Friday.
Oh, really?
And all eaten. Lacey got on, I believe Saturday night it was, while we were out to dinner, she got the pasta and meatballs, the kid size for $8. Mm-hmm. She had a ton left over.
It was pretty big.
It was giant.
Yeah.
Brought it home, ate leftovers when she got home. So Saturday, when we were at the pool, during the day, we were going out that night. We were going to meet up at the Dead Coconut Club at 7 p.m. And then we had no idea what we were doing.
Correct.
So I was still at the pool. You were up in the room and you're like, you should probably bring us back some food.
Yeah.
Because we really haven't had lunch. So what did I bring back?
You brought a steak quesadilla back for $14. It's diced steak, onions, peppers, cheese, salsa, guacamole, and sour cream. And a spicy chicken sandwich for $13.50, which was fried chicken breast topped with spicy mayo, buffalo sauce, and pickles. But
no pickles. I said no pickles, please. Yeah. This came with fries.
Mm-hmm. Really
how'd
good.
You like
Both
these?
of them are really, really good. Spicy sandwich was really good. Not too spicy though. It was just enough spice. It was really good. Really
and it was
good.
a nice crispy fried chicken breast.
Oh yeah. So
I mean, a little bit crispier than a Chick-fil-A, but
yeah,
I thought both of these were great.
The steak quesadilla was so tasted fresh, it was made right
they did.
there too.
Again, they made it right in front of me. Now I did see them assemble the spicy chicken sandwich.
Right.
So it's not like they were dropping it in the fryer, but it tasted as fresh as could be.
Oh, yeah.
And she was really cooking all the ingredients for the steak quesadilla in front of me, then put them in the tortilla, put them on a flat top, seared it off, cut it up. I was super impressed with the food here.
Yeah.
And we always have been with, especially value resort styles at Universal. Mm-hmm. We've been impressed with the food, except for that period where I felt like it just wasn't fresh enough, but it was usually still pretty tasty.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to Halloween Horror Nights. when does this run, Rhonda? And we're gonna talk about our experiences.
Yeah.
So like we're not going to go over every single ticket item like the frequent fear passes and some of those things. But why don't you talk a little bit about when this runs on select nights and some of the ticketing options?
Yeah. So Halloween Horror Nights. It's Halloween Horror Nights 32. Why is it, by the way?
It's a 30-second one.
Wow, that's
crazy.
a lot.
I know.
So it does run from September 1st to November 4th on select nights. I think those select nights are pretty much every night except like Monday or something. I'd have to go back and look because we were actually looking, some clients and I were. A single ticket starts from $82.99 per person plus tax. Your express pass is starting from $139.99 per person plus tax, but that's depending on the night.
Yeah.
When we got the girls, it was $160 something,
68 or something like that, and
So-
that's all. I mean, that's why they say
which is-
starting.
right?
Yeah.
Which is fine.
I believe that for this evening, our friends were paying $90 a night for the regular ticket.
Okay.
Now, as Premier Pass holders, we get a one night at Halloween Horror Nights each year. It's one of the reasons we're Premier. So we did not have to pay that additional fee, but we do have to pay for the Express Pass, which we bought for each of the girls because Rob and Tina and their kids were doing it. And we're like, all right, we're meeting up with some other friends. You know, we'll just kind of hit the houses, standby with them. Y'all enjoy Express Pass,
and plus,
hit everything.
and plus, I don't want to go in the houses like they do.
So you're
I
not
mean,
you're not as concerned if we do not
if I
do
miss
enough
them,
houses.
Yeah.
Right. As opposed
100%.
to if you're like, I have to hit all 10,
Yeah.
you get
Mm-mm.
Express Pass.
Yes.
Right?
Correct.
Now, there is another add-on, which is the Scream Early ticket for $40 per person. You can add this on to your single night
Mm-hmm.
ticket. There is the Stay and Scream section.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you are a pass holder who is Premier and you have entry, well, you have entry that day, basically.
Right.
You don't even have to be Premier. You could purchase your Halloween Horror Nights ticket in addition to your pass. That
Mhm.
doesn't include it, right? Or you buy a single day park ticket. If you are in the park that day, you have admission prior to, I believe it's 5 p.m., then you can go ahead and get in the Stay and Scream area,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
If not, you can pay $40 on top of your ticket to get access to it.
Mm-hmm.
If you are not wanting to spend the $140 to $160 some dollars for Express Pass, I think this is a pretty good add-on.
I do too, because we were in it and I went back after one house and you got to see one more. So I saw 7 out of 10 and you saw 8 out of 10.
Yeah. And with Stay and Scream, you get basically early access to the houses before the rest of the park opens to the nightly guest, basically, who have bought those single night tickets. So basically what happened is that we got into the Stay and Scream area in New York section right there near Finnegan's. They're going to line you up. Which house are you looking at first? You're going to have immediate access to Stranger Things 4, Dueling Dragons, or Exorcist. And we went to the Stranger Things 4 knowing that was going to be the
Yay.
longest. Got in the Stay and Scream. I'll say this right now, before 6:30 p.m., when they're starting to let in night guests, before it's all going to officially open, we hit Stranger Things 4, Dueling Dragons, and Exorcist.
Mm-hmm.
So we hit 3 houses already.
Yep.
Before the night began,
Yes.
which was awesome.
Yeah, it was.
Now, we'll talk about all the houses in a minute, but let's cover food first.
Okay.
Because we were standing there. We were right in the Stay and Scream area. I forgive everyone and myself, and John will correct me on the name of it. I don't remember the name of the booth that's right there between Finnegan's and us being in the Stay and Scream line for Stranger Things 4.
Mm-hmm.
But throughout a lot of the different food booths, they're going to have 2 signature drinks. One of those is the Ghoul Juice. One of those is Electric Death. These are $16.50 for a souvenir cup, and then you get $12.50 refills, or $12.50 for a 12-ounce single serving. So the Ghoul Juice, which I got, is Myers Dark Rum, Cherry Brandy, Simple Syrup, Mango Nectar, Lime Juice, Dale DeGroff's Pimento Bitters, and Pachard's Bitters. If you think that sounds like a lot, it is. It's too much.
Yeah, it does sound like a lot.
Year
I
after
didn't
year,
get any of this.
year after year, I just want the souvenir Blinky cup,
Yeah.
and I get a drink. I almost never refill it because I think their drinks are awful.
Yeah.
There's way too much going on. They're so sweet. You can barely get through them. Tina got the Electric Death, which is New Amsterdam gin, blue caracal, lime juice, vanilla bean, simple syrup, pineapple juice, and Dale DeGrauff's pimento bitters. Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just, I mean, if you want the Blinky Cup, get the Blinky Cup.
Do they sell the Blinky Cup without?
I don't believe they do.
Okay.
So you're going to get a drink anyway.
Yeah.
Split it amongst your friends, make fun of it, whatever you need to do. At this same booth, they have stuffed pretzels.
Yeah.
Which one did Tina order? Which was the only one listed on this menu, but there are two throughout the park at various locations.
She ordered the jalapeno stuffed pretzel and asked me if I wanted a bite. I was like, no, thanks. I'm fine. But it was supposed to be a jalapeno and cheese stuffed pretzel, but they sell a spinach and feta stuffed pretzel, and that's the one she got.
But not at this same location. It's not on the menu board.
Oh, really?
So I didn't realize they had a spinach and feta stuffed pretzel. Neither did Tina. So the whole time we're eating it, we're like, this is good, but this is spinach.
Yeah.
It's not jalapeno. This
And
is
then it
really
was feta,
what is going
too.
on. Yeah. So I was looking through the menus and doing some notes, and I texted them, and Tina, I was like, there is a spinach and feta stuffed pretzel. She goes, then why did it say jalapeno? I'm like, because there's one of those too. So I guess the delivery ended up at this booth, which only had the jalapeno stuffed on the menu, and they just didn't know. They probably look the same. They both have green
they
inside.
Do. Yeah.
They baked them off, and that's what we got. But it was still pretty good for $7.50.
Good.
I got my peanut butter burger from Mel's Dine.
You did. I
Battery
got
Park.
a regular cheeseburger, which
How'd you
was
like that?
fantastic
Yeah.
to me. I just was very hungry. I did not want this peanut bloody burger. I was like, can I just eat something good and filling? So I liked the cheeseburger. It actually tasted like it was cooked right there on a flat top. And I thought it was very good for nighttime food.
Yeah, I wish I had tried just the regular burger.
Well, I kind of wish I would have gotten the pepperoni pizza skull like last year, but that's okay.
I did one of those later for you.
Yeah.
After you headed back. But yeah, so the peanut butter burger for $13.49 is a smash burger with peanut sauce, raspberry jelly, cheddar cheese, shaved onions, jalapeno bacon, and cherry peppers on a vampire bun.
So what'd you think?
So I loved last year's Good Guy burger, which was like Fruit Loops on a glazed
I remember taking a
donut
bite
with
of that
like
too.
jalapenos and nacho cheese, and it worked really well together, shockingly. Not that this didn't work well together. It wasn't assembled properly, I feel like. The layers were very off. Like in the Good Guy burger, you got every bite you took, you got every flavor, and they worked. This one, it was like you took a bite and you got the peanut sauce.
Mm-hmm.
And then I took another bite and I got just say the raspberry jelly, but no peanut sauce.
Okay.
And then another bite, you're like, oh, there's the jalapeno. Like maybe it was just mine. I didn't get the collective taste of, I think, what it was supposed to be, but I could tell that all the ingredients were good. The burger patty, like you said, was very good. Tasted fresh off of a flat top.
Good.
That nice crust on the outside, super tender and meaty on the inside. So I'd actually be interested to hear other people that have had it. If you got all those bites or all those flavors in one bite, I should say.
Yeah.
And
but
then
you
finally,
ate the whole thing.
I did eat the whole thing. I mean, again, this was our dinner.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then finally at the 57 Scare Zone or Scare booth right across from Jimmy Fallon is where they have the pepperoni pizza skulls for $8.99. This is pepperoni and cheese stuffed pizza skull. They're delicious. They're so good.
You ate two of them.
No, I ate one of them. We were on the way to the Fear Show, and I was like, I got to get one. Like, I'm hungry. It is at this point midnight, and so I grabbed one, ate it on the way there, got in line, saw the show. Nightmare Fuel is what it's called. Sorry. And on the way out, when we were leaving at about 1:30, 1:45, I was like, I will get two more and I will eat them before we get to the bus. And it was closed.
I'm sorry.
And as we exited that evening through Citywalk at close to 2 a.m, I was saying to Rob, if the pizza place or the Burger King there or the Bao Bun place or, I mean, even Vivo, if they just had carts out front with grab and go dishes, they would be making an absolute killing.
You know, you could make the pepperoni pizza skulls with our keto.
Oh, we should do that because our neighbor has the mold with the skull mold. So we could do that with our keto dough and have some of those. You're just making me want them now, but we're not going to do that. All right.
You could do that because then you could get my dinner.
Oh, we're going to talk about your dessert in a little bit. All right. So let's talk about actual Halloween Horror Nights. And again, we said, Stay and Scream was well worth it to hit those first 3 houses. We did not wait longer than I believe 50 to 60 minutes for one house, which was the longest.
Yeah.
And we can talk about them. Let's talk first, though, about the scare zones. So this year there are 5 scare zones. We have Dr. Oddfellow's Collection of Horror, Dark Zodiac, Jungle of Doom, Expedition Horror, Vamp 69, Summer of Blood, and Shipyard 32, Horrors Unhinged. What did you think overall of the scare zones this year? And are there any 1 or 2 or 3 that stuck out to you?
Well, I'm trying to remember, really going through if I even went through all of them because of where the houses are laid out.
Yeah.
I do feel like that main where the mummy is, that main stretch was actually Vamp 69, Summer Blood. I love vampires. I loved, all the movies, the Twilight, all the CW ones, Vampire Diaries. So I loved this scare zone.
This scare zone was outstanding.
It was. I was like, you can bite me. Like they wanted to pretend to bite me. And I was like, go ahead.
The actors were incredible.
They were great. It was really neat.
Yeah, I mean, they're all hippies. There's a big hippie bus. Yep. There's vehicles there. There's a stage. And they blend in so well with the crowd.
They did.
That you don't see them coming at you. So I loved this one.
The Dark Zodiac one is the one I think I ran through because somebody started running after me and I just ran away.
I'll say this about the scare zones. I thought they were super unimpressive this year. I don't discernibly remember any of them other than Vamp 69 as they were with their theme. And I don't think we hit all 5.
Yeah.
But I didn't think anything stuck out. I thought they were kind of boring. They weren't the same as the past couple years that we've gone.
Yeah.
Except for that Vamp 69, which was really, really cool.
Yeah.
And now, again, we walked through that probably 4 or 5 times.
Right.
You almost can't miss it.
Right.
The other ones I felt you missed a little bit.
Right, because you had to go find them, I feel like.
Yeah.
But that Dark Zodiac, I think that was the one that was right when you go to you're headed in almost to Hogwarts and all that.
Yeah, through San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
The guy did follow you and you ran.
I did.
And there was the one guy there that was in overalls. It was an older guy with a big wrench, and he didn't do anything the whole time we saw him.
He's very
I think
old.
that was part of his shtick, I guess.
He
just
very
wasn't
old.
He wasn't not scary.
No.
I was gonna see if he would fix my car and then we can have some sweet tea on the porch. Is what I felt from him. So, all right. There are some rides and attractions open.
Mm-hmm. Kids did them.
Yeah. What rides do we have open and attractions do we have open during Halloween Horror Nights? If this is the type of thing you want to spend some time on.
Yeah. Well, when you have an express pass like the kids did, you can actually go and ride stuff. So I think they did Rip Ride Rocket. They did Mummy. They did Gringotts. And I think that's it. But you've got Men in Black and Transformers open. And Diagon Alley, which was really cool because they had the Death Eaters. Yeah. So that was freaking cool.
That was cool.
Was neat to see.
It was so packed in there when we went in, though. It was hard to get any sort of interaction. Now,
scary.
Yeah, well, they're made in a way that they're constantly moving. They're not supposed to pose for selfies and that type of stuff. They constantly are moving through, but it was super cool to see them there. Mm-hmm. All right, let's move on to the haunted houses. And we're going to go down the list of the ones that we did as they appear on the Universal site. And let's start with Stranger Things 4, where you are trying to escape the curse of Vecna.
Yep. Good
so
job.
I've never seen a minute of Stranger Things, any of the show. You, the girls, love it. Yeah. Most of our friends have seen it and love it. So I'll start. Very impressive for not knowing what's happening.
Yeah.
But the sounds, the scare actors, the set pieces, like they do always, were absolutely unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
It's not as though I walked through and came out like, I understand what happened in there. It just
No.
is very
Yeah,
impressive and
yeah.
cool. How did you feel as somebody who is a fan
it
of
was
Stranger
amazing.
Things?
I loved it. It was so stinking cool. Yeah, like you said, and it was really cool because like you had the stranger people in there, the from Will and everybody, and it was just so cool. And going through the upside down and just it was. If you're a fan of Stranger Things, you would have loved this.
Yeah.
Because I did, and the set was just incredible.
Yeah.
I kind of felt like I was walking through the movie, honestly.
That's awesome.
So,
That's outstanding. I mean, that's that's what they're trying to do.
Yep.
So that's super
It
cool.
didn't scare me, though.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, a little bit when they jump out at you and stuff, but it really wasn't scary to me.
I think, and I mean, this is only our third Halloween Horror Nights. We're not veterans, we're not the people that go every night and have the frequent fear pass and haven't been going for, a decade or so. But for me walking through, I can sense or notice where there's going to be a scare actor.
Yeah.
There's some sort of black entryway or doorway, or there's a little wall that's covering a curtain. So oddly, I don't get very scared in these, even though it is it's scary. Like, they're jump scares. They're really great jump scares. But
yes.
I think it's weird. Like, out of something I hate, which is being scared, I think I just go into some sort of like trance where I'm just like, I know stuff is coming.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
Well,
I'm going to
that's
just
good.
work my way through. Not to say a few things didn't get me, but we'll move on to The Exorcist Believer. This is an evil reawakened. What did you think of this house?
I didn't like it
think
at
this
all.
is creepy as all get out.
It's
I think it's one of the
stupid.
creepiest out of all of
I
them.
didn't like it. There's two freaking girls.
Yeah.
They both came out, and I just stopped, and then I ran.
Then ran through.
Oh, I didn't like it.
Yeah, that was
'cause that was the
double-sided scare.
scariest. I think that
Jump
was
scares.
the scariest for me.
It just, I mean,
It was gross
demons
too.
and the devil
Yep.
and kids and possession.
Yep.
It is super creepy. And again, these set pieces are unbelievable. When you're able, what I think so impressive, especially with this one, is there's some areas where it feels much more like an open room,
Mhm.
where you really feel like you're walking into the middle of the room. And even though you're not allowed to go anywhere because there is a path that is laid out for
Right.
you based on the set pieces and where they are, it feels like you are literally sitting in the middle of an open, demonic possessed area, as opposed to some where it's a very clear path that you feel like, I'm going through a path. I can't interact with these things.
Mhm.
Here it feels like you could.
Yeah, it was.
And I thought it
weird.
was just a really, really well done house.
Yeah, well, it was, but still creepy as all get out.
All right, so The Last of Us is one of the houses we did not visit.
Mm-hmm.
The reason we did not is it is over near Dr. Oddfellows that we'll talk about, and the lines were just super long all night.
Yeah.
Neither one of us has played or seen the video game. Neither
No.
one of us has watched the series.
No.
Kids have. Rob has.
Do they like it?
They went in. They loved it.
Good.
I think we would have just been like lost, and we didn't want to give up some other houses
Yeah.
for this one. Now, we took a lot of time that we kind of relaxed. We hung out. We, didn't rush too much. We probably could have done all 10 houses if
Yeah.
we put our mind to it easily,
Probably.
I think. Let's move on to Chucky Ultimate Kill Count over there near Fast and the Furious. I will say now, this was actually my favorite house.
Yeah. That was.
I love Child's Play. I
It
love
was
Chucky.
cool. Yeah. I mean, we started watching it with the kids before we were going, and then apparently this was actually based more on the
Yeah, the series.
But
I
with
noticed
that being
lots of
said,
nods to the movie.
I just started to say, I thought it was very movie like. I was impressed how many dolls they had. It was
goodness.
creepy,
The animatronics were incredible.
but it was amazing.
And it's really cool. Chucky's throughout on TV screens as well.
Yeah.
It's very vibrant, but it's funny.
Uh-huh.
It really reminds me of like going through the Beetlejuice house.
Yeah.
It takes
I
great
agree.
scares with humor, with
I don't think I got scared through this though.
no, not so much, which
Like-
I enjoyed.
Yeah.
But you get through
Except
what you
at the
think is
end.
the house, and you go outside and you're like, well, that wasn't much. And then you actually enter a second building in
Right.
May's area.
Yeah.
And I just thought this was so good. Seriously, the animatronics are brilliant. They're
it was really
beautiful.
cool.
And they do come out at you
Yeah.
and they're
Yeah.
wielding knives, and it is incredible.
I think I got scared of the last one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
On the last section.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move on to Universal Monsters Unmasked. This is 4 Universal monsters coming at you. How did you like this one? This was my most forgettable, personally.
It was fine. I mean, yeah, I would say I would agree with you on most forgettable.
Now, some of these blend together. Was this the one that was Halloween House last year, and at the end was all the people in robes and you weren't sure which? No, that was not this one. That's coming up.
On
Blood Moon.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So that was
Yeah.
not this one.
Mm-mm.
Let's talk Dr. Oddfellow's Twisted Origins.
Yeah, that was crazy.
This is crazy murderous circus.
Yeah, and that was weird because was that the one we walked in and I got wet? Like I was like, why is this 4D now? This
I think
is
that was
gross.
Blood Moon.
Well, one of them. Well, okay.
Yeah, I think that was Blood Moon as well.
I might have got okay. Well, anyways, there was a couple of houses that I think because I knew there were more than one that had I guess you call it 4D where you get
Yeah, there were spritzes and stuff.
Mhm.
You know what? I think that was Monsters Unmasked, because Monsters Unmasked was the Beetlejuice house. Because
Was
as
that
you
when you
walked
were
in,
going in and there was a guy? I thought what was the one you up there and
which
you were
where
going like in the
Beetlejuice was before.
sewers?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this was very similar. Yeah, this I think
Mhm.
is the one that had that. Dueling Dragons, Choose Thy Fate.
That was neat.
It was
neat because it wasn't scary, and it was more like it was pretty.
Yeah. We had talked to some of the team members prior, like checking in, and they had compared this very much because I think it's the same building as Dead Man's Pier last year, which is the most beautiful house I've ever seen. It was incredible. This was, I don't get it.
It was well, it's weird because it's Dueling Dragons to me, like Choose Your Fate. Yeah,
Right.
it's like it's
Yeah, at the end,
the
you
ride
choose
used to
fire
be
or
there.
ice.
Right.
I know. And it's
We
coming to Epic
chose
Universe.
ice.
Yeah. I didn't care for this house at all.
Okay.
It just, I don't know.
Did you do Yeti?
Yeah, so
Campground? 'Cause I
on the
did
way
not.
out after Nightmare Fuel, Robin, Kaylin, and I, standby was listed at like 45. It took us maybe 15 for Yeti campground kills. This was fun. You know, it's set pieces like you're at a campground at cabins. There's Yetis that come out. Like it's just a fun walk through the forest where, you know, a Yeti might grab you. These Yetis are working a lot better than the one over at Expedition Everest. So maybe they can talk to each other. I don't know, get that one fixed. But this one was, it was pretty cool. Like, I don't think you
Okay.
missed a ton,
Okay.
I guess I'll say. We did not get to do Darkest Deal. It just, honestly, I don't think it crossed our radar while we were there. And then finally was the Blood Moon Dark Offerings. Here's what I'll say about that. I wasn't impressed this year at all. Like overall, I just wasn't impressed.
The Blood Moon, that was the one where at the very end there was a bunch of people.
Yeah, that's
in
the one that all in
robes,
the robes.
and it was very scary
And it was cool.
and creepy because you didn't know who was real.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I wasn't really scared this year, like, but they were fun. I mean, that's what it's all about, right? I don't know.
It is, but like if you look at last year, I thought the originals, you know, the IP driven ones, you're going to remember for the most part. They're based on IPs. The original ones this year, I just don't think any of them stood out. That's why I think I'm getting them all confused. Whereas last year, like you talk about the Bugs one last year. Oh, I can remember that.
Oh,
Like it was
really?
yesterday.
Oh, okay.
These were a week ago, and I don't remember them like they were a week ago because I just don't think they were that impressive, except
Right.
for the ones that were IP based, because you can specifically tie that.
Right.
I just don't think anything stood out this year for me. And we had an absolute blast.
Right.
They could fill 10 houses with garbage, and it's still going to be so much fun. Like Halloween Horror Nights is an absolute blast.
Yeah.
And we love it year after year. We had a great group. It was fun to meet up with people and go through things. I just personally didn't love the houses in the scare zones this year myself.
Yeah.
What I did love, again, was Nightmare Fuel Revenge Dream.
So that's hard because I'm sad because we were trying to plan on going earlier, but we didn't. And then everybody was going to the last show. And I was so exhausted that I was basically about to fall asleep standing up in one of the last houses that we went into. I was exhausted.
Yeah. So we went, and Kaylin really, really wanted to see it.
I know.
I really wanted to see it. It's outstanding. I'm not kidding when I say this. At $90, if you just walk through a couple scare zones, you eat a food or two, but you catch this show, it's worth the price of admission.
Oh, wow.
This thing is incredible.
Yeah.
It is magic.
It was
It is
last year.
pyrotechnics. It is dancing. It is burlesque. It's acrobatics. It is everything you could want. It is music. I mean, any show that has fire and magic and drowning pools, bodies playing at full blast is incredible. And there's things you watch, and I know everything is like sleight of hand, and there's a way that they do it. And if
Right.
you show me it, I understand. There are moments in that it's still like a couple days later, Kaylin and I were talking about it, and we're like, wait, now think about it. Now, how did they do that part?
Mhm.
It's just so good.
That's
not
awesome.
not for younger children, but I don't know that Halloween Horror Nights is anyway.
Right.
So it was amazing though.
That's awesome.
So what is your overall kind of then Halloween Horror Nights takeaway? I mean,
It
obviously
was super fun, of course.
I didn't
as
love
always.
it. I didn't love the offerings as much, but I love the event so much.
Yeah, it was just weird because we had such a big group too that it was just me. I felt like it was just me and you for a while. And
Well, it was after Stay and Scream, and then we're meeting up with other folks. I'll say this too. It is a hard thing to coordinate because there's so many variables, and it is dark
yeah,
everywhere.
yeah, yeah.
So that part's a little bit difficult. So that'll pretty much wrap up the Halloween Horror Nights. Everybody else had a blast. It was so much fun. I can't wait to do it again next year. And we're talking about maybe
Yes.
doing Express Pass for ourselves next year, but at the same time, to save that money, hit 8 out of 10 houses. Now the kids hit all 10.
I think every year it depends on the houses and what is there. Like I only wanted to see Stranger Things and Chucky, and I was basically kind of like, I don't want Express Pass. But if next year, if all of a sudden I was like, ooh,
Yeah, it's all these houses.
all
that,
these
like,
things.
Two things we missed, I will say I'm super disappointed about. We caught them walking away was the Megan dancers.
Oh yeah, we did not see them dance.
Yeah.
We saw them, but I'm glad you brought that up because they look just like they were freaking
Oh my
cool.
goodness. The videos
Like,
I've
they
seen
were
online.
amazing.
Oh.
Oh, they were amazing. But we did not get to see them dance.
Yeah. And then there was one point that we had separated a little bit with Rob and Tina, and I was telling y'all, I think maybe I went to the bathroom. You guys went ahead, and I didn't realize y'all went to Shea Alcatraz. I thought you were going to the NBC or to the Peacock pop-up bar there in San Francisco. And because that's where I wanted to meet, because that's where David S. Pumpkins appears.
Oh yeah.
So I walked over to meet you guys, and he was out. And I'm like, all right, let me go find him. Tina especially, like, we're coming back. We're seeing David S. Pumpkins. And y'all weren't there, and we're texting. And you're like, we're at Shea Alcatraz. I'm like, okay, I'm coming over. So I walk over there, grab Tina. We come back, and he's on break. And we did not see him the rest of the night.
Oh,
So those are
sorry.
the two things I really wish I had seen. I totally get they can't put those on any sort of a like schedule because then it'll be way too crazy and crowded.
Oh yeah. 100%.
But I wish I knew when I should have been in certain places.
Yeah.
So let's move on to real quick. We're going to talk about Saturday evening. We're meeting up with some folks at Dead Coconut Club, which is the Red Coconut Club up there in Citywalk that they retheme for every season, everything that's going on throughout the year. I think it's super impressive every single time.
Mm-hmm.
The drinks aren't always the best, but the decor and the entertainment is unbelievable, right?
Yeah, it is. And then they had live singers.
Yeah.
That
as
was
we were
super
walking
cool.
out.
And then I didn't know there was an upstairs
Yeah.
because I don't think I've ever been upstairs until this time. And then it was really neat because they were playing like a drive-in movie where
Yeah.
you could sit there, and I don't know if you really could watch.
It was cool. And there's a
it was neat.
balcony on that second
Yeah.
floor that overlooks that
It was
area,
super cool.
Citywalk.
Yep.
So that was fun. And then again, when you have a big group, things just go every which way sometimes.
Go
so
awry.
plans change. I've learned a lesson that I don't need to make specific plans. I think I need to say, hey, we're all going to Universal this weekend for Halloween Horror Nights. Come on out. We'll figure the rest out while we're there, because it gets very difficult to stick to things. But we, very last minute, we're looking at doing Cowfish because of the kids, but they decided they were going to go back to the hotel and get just dinner there at Beach Break.
Yep.
And so whose idea was it to check out Vivo?
Probably Tina because of the bread.
Yeah, that's right. I think it was.
But we've always loved it. And I think I was like, I think I want a lemon, limoncello or something, lemon drop martini or something from there. And so we ended up going over there. And if you go back to episode 380, we talked about it once there. And now we're going to talk about it again and tell you that we had some really good stuff.
Yeah, we did.
Because last time, I don't think.
Yeah, we didn't like
the
it was the lobster, the little fried lobster things that had like really no lobster in them. We sat at the bar last time. So we went in this time to see if we could get bar seating because there were going to be 6 of us, right? So me, you, Rob, Tina, Carol, and Steve.
Yep.
And there was not any bar seating. The place was actually slammed.
It was.
And somehow we got 6 seats right there outside, right along the railing within no time at all.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened. I was like, I don't know if Steve did
I think
something.
Steve was the one that was chatting with them, but it was just the most perfect location. And
it was amazing.
You know,
it was
the
nice.
evenings are getting a little cool, right?
Yep, it was for Florida.
So we'll start with some of the appetizers. Tina ended up with the meatballs for $13, which are the house-made meatballs and marinara. These are delicious. We've had them in the past. What 2 items? And this was one you just said, Jeremy, you just order stuff. Well, we're already eating the bread, right? Best bread around.
So good. I wanted the fried ricotta this time because I've made it before, and I wanted this for $11. It's rosemary lemon ricotta, lightly breaded and fried on house-made tomato sauce, basil, ricotta, salata. And this was fantastic. I really, really liked it. There was like 4 bowls.
Yeah.
And
about the size of a golf ball.
Yeah, it was great. And then I said I don't care because there was beef carpaccio on there, which you like that, which is raw beef. It is $17. It is beef tenderloin, fried capers, arugula, truffle, emulsion, and grana pendeo.
Sounds good.
I tasted it because you made me. I did not like it.
Oh, so delicious.
Good.
I loved it.
I don't think anybody else did.
I ate most of the plate.
I don't think Rob liked it.
It's the best beef carpaccio I've
fine.
had. And they have one at Tambu, or at least they did. I don't know if they still have it. And I've had it there. I think it's just delicious. It is thin as paper. You can almost see through the beef. And it has this roast beefy flavor, but also there's a certain like sweetness to it. And there's a little peppery from like the arugula and this brininess from the fried capers. Like, I thought it was absolutely outstanding. I loved it. I would get this again. Like, and I'd just eat the rest myself.
Yeah.
And then I'd actually next time probably like get extra bread and almost just put some on the bread and eat it that way. And yeah, the fried ricotta was outstanding. Super creamy on the inside, nice and crispy on the outside. These were absolutely wonderful appetizers. Now, when it came to the main entree, you definitely said just order whatever you want.
I did.
So I went for pasta because they're hand-making, house-made pasta there, and it's incredible. We've had it. And I got the shrimp fra diavola, which is jumbo prawns and squid ink pasta tossed in Vivo's house-made tomato sauce with Calabrian chili peppers and fresh basil. How did you like this?
This was phenomenal. This was so good. The shrimp were great. The pasta was so good, and the sauce was, I felt like it was light. I wanted to keep eating more of this. I was like, okay, I'm done.
I know.
And I was like, no, I'm going to eat another bite. Okay, I'm done. Like, I mean, I'm glad we split it though.
Yeah.
But if I had ordered this on my own, I probably would have eaten the whole thing.
I agree. I loved it.
And then been hurting.
Yeah.
Because I ate so much.
Yeah. The pasta's so super fresh. It's perfectly cooked al dente. You can tell that it's homemade. Giant shrimp, cooked to perfection. A nice light sauce. And what I loved is that it was spicy without your traditional, what you think of spice. It was spicy in a peppery sense. You got a real great hint of pepper in this. And I thought it was outstanding. I love Vivo. I don't know what to do for Thanksgiving, but I was already looking at, do we do Vivo for our Thanksgiving meal?
Oh, really?
Or do we do cowfish? Obviously, they're both going to be either very untraditional, but I don't want to do the traditional stuff that's been at Universal in the past. A lot of it is price per person. And, we're not going to get our money's worth with the kids, whereas I think either one of them would eat a big old pasta dish at Vivo or get their cowfish.
Yeah.
So I was already looking at reservations, and we'll maybe just secure some just in case. But I think it would be amazing to do a late afternoon on Thanksgiving pasta.
That sounds good.
Finally, we'll move on to our dolce, our dessert. And this was recommended by our lovely waitress.
Yes.
This was the stracciatella semifreddo for $9.
Yes.
What exactly is this, Rhonda?
It is sweet frozen vanilla ice cream and shaved chocolate on a chocolate cookie crust, warm chocolate ganache, and chocolate shards. And this, to me, tasted just like the Publix Good Humor Viennetta. I think that's how you say it. It's Viennetta.
Yeah.
And oh my goodness, this thing was so good.
It was.
It to me tasted just like this vanilla Viennetta, and I just thought it was fantastic. I would get this again. I know there's other desserts on the menu, but golly, this was fantastic.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, to me, it's like taking, if you remember as a kid, I know they have it now. I remember it as a kid, getting a really good vanilla bean ice cream and putting the magic, isn't it what it's called? Magic, the chocolate over top. That's
magic
liquid.
Shell.
Magic Shell. Putting that over top. Remember it from Dairy Queen when they would dip the cones, and it was basically the same thing, Magic Shell. And you would dip that on, or pour that on top, and within a couple seconds, it's rock hard, and you crash through that with your spoon, that nice chocolate, and you get the vanilla ice cream. It's very similar to that with some tones of like the, cinnamon and that extra chocolate ganache and a little bit of Italian flair, like not so much tiramisu, but some of those same flavors.
They had tiramisu.
They do.
But
we can get it for Thanksgiving. This was good. This was such a good meal.
Yeah.
And we have, short of that time we sat at the bar and one or two items were just like, And it's one of those things you go, we know what we've had here. These just don't live up to what they normally have, but they're still good.
Mm-hmm.
Everything this night was outstanding.
Yeah,
and most everything we've had. They have really outstanding pizza.
Yeah.
Too. Like, I've gotten pizza there before, the meat lovers. I think we've been here probably the most out of anywhere.
I think so too.
Universal, with probably Cowfish being a close second, followed by NBC Sports Grill.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not counting quick service style places.
Yeah.
So it was a wonderful weekend.
Yeah, it was.
We had so much fun.
Did you have a fun birthday weekend?
I had a great birthday.
Good.
We're now a week past it. We are prepping to head down to Disney this weekend to check out the new food booths that are opening on the day this comes out at Food and Wine. So we're going to check a bunch of those out. We have a Give Kids the World event on Saturday evening that we're super excited about. Yep. Hope to see you out there. We're going to check out the preview of Journey of Water with Moana. We're hoping to get in the virtual queue and check out the annual pass holder merchandise event yard sale thing this weekend.
That's a lot.
Soaring over California. Maybe we can meet Figment. I have a list.
Oh my goodness.
I actually had to create a list in my notes so we don't miss anything. Oswald, annual pass holder magnet. We got a lot to do. So with that being said, we got to go pack right now. So that being said, we're going to let you guys go, but thank you so much for listening. Truly appreciate it. We hope that we hope that this helped you out a little bit. If you were going to Universal, Halloween Horror Nights, anything like that, definitely check out Vivo Italian. If you hit that subscribe button, you'll get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. And you know that Rhonda and I would be super thankful if you could please leave us a rating and review.
Because it helps our show grow.
That's all we've got. We'll see you real soon.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts, Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.